Before assembling the machine, please organize all components. We have prepared all types of fasteners, and each step is accompanied by a diagram of the components for assembly. You can quickly assemble the machine by following the steps below. Allen wrenches sizes to 0.5 pound, 5 pound, 6 pound, 8 pound, and 10 pound are provided as accessories. Step 1. Connect the two ground frame weldment assemblies with the two side frame weldment assemblies using hex socket flathead screws, spring washers, and washers, and secure with lock nuts. Use lock nuts and spring washers to secure the upper support connections. Connect the upper beam weldment assembly with the side frame weldment assemblies using hex socket flathead screws, spring washers, and washers, securing with lock nuts. Step 2. Disassemble the pulley. Install the adjustment guide tube, left assembly, into the corresponding square tube of the ground frame and side frame using hex socket flathead screws and washers, secured with lock nuts. Disassemble the pulley. Install the adjustment guide tube, right assembly, into the corresponding square tube of the ground frame and side frame using hex socket flathead screws and washers, secured with lock nuts. Install two diagonal support tube weldment 1 and two diagonal support tube weldment 2 on both sides of the ground frame using washers, hex socket flathead screws, and spring washers to secure. The upper pulley needs to be disassembled, and the ends of the wire rope must also be removed before routing through the pulley assembly and reconnecting to the wire rope ball end. Note: the disassembly process is the same for both sides. Step 3. Insert the slide rod through the corresponding holes in the ground frame, placing two buffer pads on it, followed by a total of 17 weight blocks, and then place one weight head on top. Slide two upper fixed sleeves on slide rod over the top of the slide rod. Align them with the corresponding holes on the upper part of the side frame. Secure them with hexagon socket flathead screws and flat end set screws. Repeat the same assembly process for the other side of the ground frame. Step 4. Insert the weight adjustment rod into the weight block assembly, connecting the weight head to the weight adjustment rod using hex socket head cap bolts. Screw the single pulley frame assembly into the weight lift rod. Remove the slotted bolt and nut from the wire rope. Through the two aluminum alloy pulleys A and B, then upward through pulleys C and D, downward through pulley E, back upward through pulley F, downward through pulleys G and H, finally aligning it with the threaded column of the sliding frame. Secure the hex slotted bolt to the wire rope using two hex thin nuts to screw into the threaded column. Adjust the tension of the wire rope and tighten both hex thin nuts. Attach the pull handle assembly to the hoist hook and hang it in the eyelet of the wire rope. Repeat the same routing procedure for the wire rope on the other side. A B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Monthly. Inspect all assembly bolts and re-tighten them. Shake the product. If there is shaking, adjust the position or the height of the foot pad. Weekly. Inspect all rotating parts to ensure flexibility and no abnormal noise. In a stationary state, the wire rope is taut and the counterweight block is not suspended. Inspect the usage function of the pull pin component and tighten it. Apply running silicone oil to the slide rod parts and adjustment slide rod parts. Use the product normally. All functions can be used daily. Inspect whether the stress parts, such as wire ropes, pulleys, and counterweight blocks, are worn or damaged, and whether the wire rope is derailed. Inspect the product surface. In case of paint peeling, leather aging, softening, label falling off, surface damage, etc., replace it in time. Wipe the product surface with Pledge.